All right, welcome to another episode of Ganked, where I tell you that your ship sucks, your fit sucks, and the amount of cargo you were hauling was too much. That's just kind of how it goes. That's not always how it goes. Actually, there are some people who do everything right and still get ganked, but most of you do not. So, let's take a look at this guy. Total destroyed, 17 billion. And now, okay, so he's in an Octator. First thing is you're carrying too much. And then I want to take a look at this fit. So they have some of the things here, like they have a micro jump, they have a micro warp, they have a cloak and everything. And these are all used for micro jump, cloak, trick, if you think you're about to get ganked. And that's all fine and dandy. But what we have here is kind of the wrong stuff. Because here we do not have the proper fit. The proper fit here is things that you can overload. And which would be like active like hardeners and such, because you get bonuses when you overheat to where they go like double, and this can get 100 and some odd thousand EHP, and you can see here he only had 17,000 EHP or around there. The numbers are not always right, but he had much less. And so there's a couple of things with this. One is, this is kind of a speed alignment fit, which is not what you do with these, because you can't get down low enough to be below 10 seconds. But if you were to replace this micro warp drive with an afterburner, you can, in one cycle of the afterburner, which is 10 seconds, get to warp. And so you put all of your tank in here so that you can, kind of withstand this. Now, could he have withstood it? I mean, these are what, oracles? Yeah, probably, maybe not. But would give much better survivability and everything. And how far off the gate was he? He was 23 off the gate. He did not get his micro jump off. He didn't. So it didn't. That whole system failed.
Dragons.
Lucky
and
68 just followed.
So, Lucky, thank you for the follow. So anyway, this one's a fail. Now, I recommend. I have an Octator fit that is really good, but Octator is not the best. The best is the Impel, because the Impel can get way more EHP than the Octator, any of the other deep space transports. So, look at skilling up the Impel. Look for my fit on that, and give that a shot. We have another person here who's killed in Perimeter, which is a 1.0 system. And again, this guy looks like he's fit a bit more for null, which I'm not sure that I would fly this in. I never feel like it's the right ship for in null. I just don't feel like it's the right ship. And so the these right here, they reduce your see, he's 12,000. They reduce your alignment time in exchange for reducing your armor. And so, and this guy was ganked. I mean, in Perimeter, was he hauling too much? Probably. You know, at 5 billion, do I haul that much sometimes? I mean, I have, but I still think it's too much. And if your cargo here, this is all his own cargo. Come on. So, listen, don't be lazy. This person, most likely, if they had split their cargo up into 3 segments, nobody would have looked at them. But instead, they're carrying all this at once, which is part of their problem. Another octor. Whoa, 20 billion. What? They don't even have a complete fit. What are these people doing? Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So the fit here, he's got an afterburner to get going quickly. He's got, was he going through null? I don't know. But he's got a warp core stabilizer, which, again, I feel like that's kind of the wrong one. When they're going to gank you, that your one warp core stabilizer is not going to help. Because they are going to overcompensate on their ship that grabs you. And so this right here, ineffective. They're just going to put 2 scrams on, So it's completely ineffective. It's not the right part of the fit for this. So what was the damage? 14,000. And see, literally, you could have had 10 times as much EHP if you fit this right. And they would have had to bring a lot more ships to get you. So, and then we look at this. We got a plastic wrap here, and oops. Let's see here. I thought maybe I could cinch it up or something if I clicked on that. So in this plastic wrap, wow, 20 billion. Here's the deal. I'm sure that, okay, so this looks like an honest contract. It's 20 billion worth of stuff. They looked at this and saw, oh, it's going Jita to Amor. It's 50 jumps. They're going to pay me, 10 million a jump to haul this. Well, I don't know why in the first place you don't fully fit out your ship. That's your first problem. Second problem is it's just too much. It's just too much. You have to have the self-control to not look at those contracts. You want to know how to do that? I can tell you how to do that. When you are looking up contracts and what's available, as opposed to looking in like the Haulers channel and just clicking on things and then grabbing them and saying, oh, okay, I'm going to run it. You need to put your filters on how much cargo value you're willing to carry. And in an Akator right here, I think that I would be somewhere between 1 and 2 billion. Maybe 2 billion. Especially if you use a scout through a couple of troublesome systems. And use cooldowns and stuff. If you've seen me doing hauling before, you know that I have cooldown stations before the hot points to where I go and I park up for 15 minutes or so. I let them forget about me. They will be on to somebody else. Or I will put a ship in like Udema, which I have one in there right now, and they will watch for when a whole bunch of red flashy appears. That's the perfect time to get through because they can't do anything. They just ganked somebody. They do not have the ability to gank you unless there are multiple gank squads in there. But you should know that. Like, you should know who's the gankers and who's not. Anyway, this one's another fail. And train up an impel. You can get much better EHP out of it. This one's not a cargo ship. They got hit on a gate. Oh, yeah. You want to know why? You want to know why? It's this right here. Look at that. That right there is an officer module. How much was it worth? 1.7 billion. Actually, it's not worth that much. Now, I got to ask, why do you need it? A power module like that? I think that this fit is overbuilt for the job. I think it's overbuilt for the job. And so this is there's too much in here. You don't need this much. You just don't. All right. And if you are out in wherever, with your Marauder running missions or whatnot, you need to not be near a trade hub. It's dangerous. Oh, could it be an incursion fit? It could be. It could be. And if you need to, so if it's an incursion fit and you need to run that through a system that could be, hazardous to your health, you probably need to be running a scout. So, yeah. All right, here's a RIA. Okay, so I don't have any problems with what kind of jump freighter you use or how you fit it, because the jump freighter safety is all about how you fly it. I don't even care if you have 100 billion or a trillion. Can you fit a trillion in your in your cargo hold? I don't think you can. I bet you couldn't. But it doesn't matter to me what the fit is or anything, because it's all in how you fly it. And where was this person? They were in the forge, Erican. Where is that? Is that right next to, let's see here. Is that next to a low-sec system? Huh. Wow. Okay. This is all the way out here. These are low sec. No. Is that low sec? Shit, I don't remember. Let's see here. All right, so it's that, and then right next to it is low sec. So they may have come in, they may have signed in here and then flown into here, which, okay, not a problem. But these guys were all waiting. And so on the Ojin gate, yeah, and was that the system that we just looked at? Yeah. So they did not use a scout flying in. So they see them sino in to that low sec system and then fly off through. So they knew that he was in there. If you use a drop down, you can see security status. Okay. So they knew that this was where he was going. And so the way to solve that is to have a scout. So it takes 3 characters to fly a jump freighter. And so basically you have one that's your jump freighter pilot, you have another that's your sino, and you have a third that is your scout. And that scout is all he's doing, it doesn't matter what kind of ship you're in, nothing. You could be floating around in a pod. You just need to know what the environment is of the system that you're jumping into with something like this. And if they had a scout, they would have known all of these people were sitting on the gate. So, a scout would be the answer. So if any of you are thinking of that you want to be flying jump freighters, know that you need 3 accounts. And if you're going to try and do it with 2, then you need to use your Sino as a scout. And so you'd have to wait for your Sino to go out and then dock up or go into the next system and be in there looking. But there's also something else that puts you at more risk. You're still not in the right way of doing it, because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to keep that Sino character out there. When you go into another system and you see trouble, you jump immediately to it. That's what you're supposed to do. But if you don't have 3 characters, you can't do that. You can't do that. So, yeah, never rush. Never be in a rush. So that is what gets you killed most of the time. Wow. 20 billion in a crane? All right. Oh, what kind of fit is this? And we're in high sec? Oh. Okay, so let me show you what happened here. What happened here, what happened here is that they saw what he is. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you are carrying in one of these. This is a blockade runner. Blockade runners cannot be cargo scanned because they can't be. Oh, and he's 20K off of the station? What the hell is that? How does that even happen? Okay. So, the ability of me to wrap my mind around this is at a good complexity. Yeah. Because you have to treat it like you're carrying a hefty load every time you fly a blockade runner into or out of any sort of trade hub. Dodixie is a trade hub. And the reason for that is because they cannot scan you and see what you've got. So they sit out there with tornadoes and they say, oh, blockade runner, boom, boom. Simple as that. Simple as that. And so the almost every time that I have been killed in my blockade runner has been when docking or undocking at JITA most of the time, and they shoot me while I'm empty. So, so you make some bookmarks. You make bookmarks for when you undock that you can warp to instantly, that are out straight out from where you undock at. And then you also make a bookmark that's up into the center of the station if you can, all the way up inside. Figure out how to get as close to the center of the station as possible, and you make a bookmark there, and then you warp to there, and you put it on your autopilot for the station. Now, you may be like, autopilot? I wouldn't autopilot with this. No, you do. You put it with your autopilot, so you warp to the bookmark, and then you autopilot to the destination, which is the station. And what happens is as soon as you land, autopilot will take over and dock you. And you're landing in the middle of the station where it's just too quickly that you're getting docked for them to target you and shoot you. So, like in Jita, there are plenty of save points. Plenty of save points. So, all right. Let's see here. One of my favorite ships, the Bowhead. And you know what? He's tanked right. Except for this. How much is this worth? 195 million. I typically go with a standard damage control, Tech 2. Because now you're adding another 191 million in value to your ship. And some of the people will gank you empty, even if they think that maybe something's going to drop. He had some stuff in his ship hangar here. I'll tell you, I do run a lot in my Bowhead. It's not uncommon for me to be having 5 to 7 billion ISK worth of ships in there. And I do it all the time. But if I'm going to run that much, I have a scout. He's fit almost right, close enough. And so, but, Cushion got him. Cushion got him. I have a song for Cushion. Maybe y'all don't know. Yeah. So, you think my fit has faction damage control on Eve Workbench? It might. But generally, you fly this differently. You carry a lot of stuff in here, but you fly it differently. And part of the reason why it's a little bit safer to fly is because you can get to warp in 10 seconds if you know how to do it. All right. An Ansher, 13 billion. Server not responding. What? Oh my goodness. Another Akator. What? Oh my goodness. This episode might be cut short. All right. So, let's continue this on, but a little bit differently here. And that is that you have, 7 billion in your hold. It's too much. It's too much. This has more than 4 billion in the hold. Too much. Isn't a Mastodon is Tech 2. 10 billion here. Bowhead. Oh, we're going to try it again. And is it going to work? Is it not? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. All right. So, Providence. You're carrying too much. Bowhead, I don't know if I can say what the problem is. Maybe you didn't use a scout. Charon, carrying too much. It's worth 3 billion. You're carrying another 3.5 billion in there. It's too much. 1.5 billion is my comfort level. This, maybe they were carrying too much, maybe not. This, they were definitely carrying too much. This Rhea, not carrying too much. This Ark, not carrying too much, 41 billion. But can we get it to come up? Can we get it to come up? Will it load? You guys remember those videos? Will it blend? It's not loading. All right. So I have to give it to Erican. This, let's see, Braddock Zavoid.
Welcome to the Dragons.
For Deep voice tug just followed.
For getting ganked in their arc. And the song here is really brutal. I think that if you're listening at work, it's not work safe. You need to mute now.
You got ganked. Your style really tanked. Flying that big ship, now it's spanked. Wrong fit, wrong ship.
See if I can get it to come up.
What the fuck were you thinking? Now your wreck's on the grid, your rep is sinking. Holla's blues, what were you smoking? Cargo worth a fortune, now you're choking. 30 billion in the hole, that's bold. Inexperience, motherfucker, you've been trolled. That cargo's worth too much, you dumb fuck. Thought you were clever, but you're shit out of luck. Plex
This song is
might
so
be
evil.
bold, but it's a joke in the harsh void of space. You're now broke. Holla's blues, what were you smoking?
I feel bad for the people who are hauling everything they own.
30 billion in the hole, that's bold. Inexperience, motherfucker, you've been trolled. You're a dumb motherfucker, acting like a space sucker. But really you're a fool in this galactic pool. Shouldn't be flying, cause all you do is dying.
We lost
in the
everything.
cold of New Eden, your tears
Even
aren't
this.
worth buying. Holla's blues, what were you
Yep.
smoking? Cargo worth a fortune, now you're
Zkill down.
choking. 30 billion
Who ganked
in the hole,
Zkill?
that's bold. Inexperience, motherfucker, you've been trolled.
Somebody ganked Zkill. Yep. Oh, man.
Holla's blues, learn the ropes, or keep buying ships and crashing hopes. In
We've all
New
been
Eden,
there.
it's a hard knock life, so fly smart and avoid the strife.
Oh, my goodness. Yep. So there we go. All right. This episode of Ganked got ganked. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, see you in the next episode.